Hello, am I audible? Hello. 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 Hello, guys. Good evening. Am I audible? Yeah, should I start or should we wait for more people?
Yeah, we can start.
Only one guy said we can start after 13. So I'm waiting for like
Yeah,
three
we
more
can start.
minutes.
We're ready.
Yes, we can start.
Okay. Okay. Hello guys. Good evening. My name is Dhananjay Chaudhary and I work in mechanical and electrical integration system in Steyr. So today we'll be talking about battery technology and which battery technology we use in our car and how it works. So I won't go into the basic like electrochemistry of it. Basically, a battery has three parts: anode, cathode, and a separator. So in a typical lithium-ion battery, this separator allows lithium ions to pass through it, but it doesn't allow electrons to pass through it. So uh, when lithium when this battery is charged, so in charging phase, all the lithium ions go towards the anode, and when the time of discharging, at the time of discharging, all of these lithium ion go towards cathode. So since electrons can't go through this separator, they take a separate path from our conducting wire, and they reach towards the cathode. And this is how like electron flows, and we generate electricity. So this is the basic rule of every battery cells you see. Like we will have a separator, an electron will have a separate path to travel. So there are many battery technologies, like many chemistries you can available. So the most common one you have seen lithium, this lead acid battery. All of the heavy batteries you have seen. So they are most common and very cheap, but they have less specific energy. So specific energy is like you can call this energy density also. How much energy is stored per kilogram of the battery is known as energy density. So and this lead acid battery has a very low energy density, and after as the time progressed, the new chemistries came forward, such as nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, and for the past 2 decades, lithium ion batteries have been ruling the commercial industries. So they are widely used in your phones also. Everything is lithium ion battery only right now, phones, laptops, everything. Further advanced lithium ion batteries and other chemistries are also there, but they are under development right now. They are not commercially used because they have some drawbacks also. So currently, right now in R&D, there is one thing called solid state batteries. So they have very high energy density, but it has some problems. So in the next 5 years, there are companies which are working to develop solid state batteries. So that is about the future of it. Like still we are not, we can't use those technology because it's not, it has a drawbacks and all. So I'll start with the basic terminologies for battery. Everyone knows a cell, right? I showed you in this picture. This one anode, one cathode, and separator. This thing is called a cell. Okay, this unit is called a cell. one anode, one cathode, and the electrolyte. And if you if you collect all of these cells and arrange it in series or parallel, we call that a battery. And we have like voltage and current. Like everyone knows, the potential difference between two terminals of the battery is called the voltage, and the rate of flow of charge is called the current. So these are the basic definitions you have learned in your school and all. We have a new term called capacity. Capacity is defined as the total charge stored in the battery. So the whole battery pack, how much charge it has, is called capacity. We all know current I equal to charge by time. So if I multiply this time there, then we have Q equal to I into T. So I has a unit of ampere, and T, if we take as hours, then this ampere hour is nothing but capacity of the battery. If I say a battery has a capacity of 100 ampere hour, it means I can run 100 amperes for 1 hour continuously. It also means I can run 50 ampere. I can draw 50 ampere of current for 2 hours continuously. So this determines somehow determines the it limits the current and the time how much we use this thing. So is it clear by now? Anybody have any doubts and all till now? Hello.
No doubts.
No.
No.
Okay. Fine. So we'll go forward. There's one more terminology called C rating. So a C rating of a battery is a measure of rate at which a battery is discharged relative to its maximum capacity. I'll tell you by example. If I say a battery has capacity of 100 amps and I say it has 3 C rating, this means that we can draw maximum of 3 into 100, that is 300 amperes of current through it. This is the maximum current I can get for a short amount of time. Usually the time is around 10 seconds. So this is the maximum current I can draw from the battery. That thing is given by our C rating and our capacity. If I say a battery has 2 C rating, then it will give me maximum of 200 amperes. 200 amperes of current can be drawn for a limited amount of time, for 10 seconds. This cannot be used continuously. So we have another term called state of charge. State of charge is nothing but battery percentage, the expression of the present battery capacity as a percentage of maximum capacity. Like how much percentage is remaining in that battery is called the state of charge of that battery. There is another term called depth of discharge, DOD, it is also called. So the percentage of maximum capacity that has been discharged, how much has been discharged is called depth of discharge, and how much charge is remaining in present state is called state of charge. So they are opposite, exactly opposite of each other. The other term is energy. Everyone, like you might have came through this formula, work done equal to Q into V in your physics class. So this is nothing but the energy stored in the battery. This formula will give you. I told you Q equal to I into T. So multiply voltage, current, and time, you'll get the energy in joules. We also know V into I. V into I is nothing but power. Power equal to VI. So power has a unit of kilowatt, and time, if I take it as hour, this is the standard unit, kilowatt hour. So this will give me the energy stored in the battery, and this value will give us a knowledge about how much the car has a range. So if I say, for example, a Tesla car, it has 75 kilowatt hour of kilowatt hour battery pack. It has a range of around 250 miles. So this kilowatt hour, this value gives us the gives us the figure ki how much the range will be of that car. Similarly, specific energy, if you divide this energy divided by the total weight of the battery, so per kilogram of battery, how much energy is there? You can call this as energy density. So this specific energy will give you the how much energy is there in 1 kilogram of that battery. So lithium ion have I have shown you before also here. See, this is specific energy. Lithium ion has the highest till now, commercially available. So based on this, we decided we will go with lithium ion uh, batteries only for our formula car. Okay, cycle life. The number of cycle before battery fails to meet performance specifications. Basically, one charge and one discharge. This will how many times you can do charging discharging before before its performance is before it fails to meet this performance is called cycle life, and this is affected by the depth of discharge. So how much depth of discharge is directly proportional to cycle life. Also, we have some internal resistance within the cell. So there it creates we all know heat equal to I square R T. So this I square R, I is the current through the battery, and R, this small r is nothing but internal resistance. Because of this only our battery heats up from the core to the outside, and this is a big problem in every electric vehicle. That's why we have cooling systems. So the battery can be cooled through air or through liquid or through phase change materials. So this is a different topic by itself, thermal cooling. So the next session on Friday will be talking more in depth regarding thermal cooling and all. So the types of cells. So based on the shape and size of lithium ion battery, we have classified it into cylindrical cells, pouch cells, and cylindrical cells, prismatic cells, and pouch cells. So in cylindrical cells, you can see here, the cell is coiled up like this, and this generates this makes the building block of the car. And in prismatic cells, we have different configuration for the cathode, anode, and the separator. And pouch cell, they also have they are quite thinner, but prismatic cells are a bit wider, thicker. Sorry. So right now we have prismatic cells only in our car. This is a 3D model of our 2020 Formula Bharat car, a Formula Bharat accumulator container. The battery pack is called accumulator container. So if you guys are listening to this word accumulator repeatedly, this is a new word for you. The whole container is called accumulator container, and it is divided into 6 parts. So each part is called a module, and each module will have 4 prismatic cells. And these are, can you see this brown colored thing? These are nothing but bus bars. So the cells are connected in series or in parallel using this bus bars only. These are copper bus bars. So each and every cells, based on this, we get the required power output and everything. Till now, is everything clear? Any doubts?
No, everything's fine.
Moving on. So how do I connect each and every part? So while connecting the batteries in series and parallel, there are certain things which change and which doesn't change, and which are a bit confusing also. So it is the inverse of the thing you do in resistors. So completely opposite. So we'll take a look at this. If you connect all of the batteries in series, your voltage will add up. So if you connect three 12-volt batteries together, your final voltage will be 36 volts. But if you connect them in parallel, uh, your final voltage will be 12 volt only. So what is the difference between these two? Like I'm getting higher voltage here, but what am I compromising here, and what am I gaining here? So as we talked about ampere hour before, the capacity, ampere hour ampere hour adds up in parallel circuit. Even though the final voltage is low, if this battery has 100 ampere hour capacity, each battery have 100 ampere hour capacity, then my final ampere hour here will be 300 ampere hour. That means I can draw 300 ampere for 1 hour from this circuit. But from this circuit, I can only draw 100 ampere for an hour. So this will have lesser current. I can draw less current from this circuitry, but I can get more voltage out of this. So based on this, uh, we figure out how much energy, how much voltage is required for our motor, how much range we need to cover, and based on that range, how much ampere hour is required. So all of these things will be simulating it, and we'll be getting to a number. This thing is pretty like what should I say? It's confusing. It always like oh, there are four terms and interchangeable. So I came up with a simple what do you call it? A mnemonic kind of thing, which everyone will know. Like everyone knows this guy, right? Yeah, this bad boy has a name. His full name is SARS-CoV-2. So this SARS, I have taken this and I have made a mnemonic. In series, ampere hour will always remain same. Like everyone repeat after me. In series, ampere hour will remain same. That means voltage will be added, and in parallel, exact opposite will happen. So you can deduce everything uh, by like remembering this mnemonic. In series, ampere hour will remain same. Is it clear till now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So for today's session, this is it. But wait, I won't let you go now. I have a small assignment for you guys. So assignment question, like don't be afraid by looking at these values and all. I'll explain this question. If an 18650 cylindrical cell, 18650 is nothing but a type of cylindrical cells, and this has a voltage of 3.6 volt, and this has a capacity of 3 ampere hour, and it is rated as 6C rating. That means I can draw 6 into 3, 18 ampere current for 10 seconds. I can draw 18 amperes of current out of this small battery, and each cell's cost about 750 rupees. So you need to, this is our battery, this is our cell. You need to design a configuration which can produce 72 volts and 78 ampere hour capacity. So you need to design in such a way ki how many cells will be in parallel, how many cells will be in series, so that the final voltage will be 72 volts and the final ampere hour will be 78 ampere hour. And also by getting that number, you can figure out how many cells are used in this configuration, and you can multiply it with 750 and get the cost of only the cells. So if there are non-technical people here, and they can give it a try. It's a simple arithmetic problem only, not a big uh, electric calculation and all. So you can figure out how much the cells cost, just the cells, not the whole accumulator. So yeah, this is it for today, this session. If you have any question answer, we'll start a question answer session now. You guys can start asking. Other than this also, if you have other doubts on electrical or mechanical part of it, you can ask.
Can you please show the previous slide and take a screenshot of it?
Yeah, everyone take a screenshot of this. I'll be sharing this on the group also. Take a
Okay.
screenshot.
I joined a few minutes late, so yeah, I joined about 5 minutes ago. So then, where will I be able to see the rest of the presentation?
So this whole session is being recorded and we'll be putting this on YouTube. So
Okay.
I'll share the YouTube link. You can watch it again there. The whole session.
Because I have semester end exams starting from Monday, so I will be a bit busy.
Yeah, that's why we are recording it. So that those people who can't join in today or the later sessions, they'll watch the recorded ones.
So you'll send the link for the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. No one has any doubts.
Can you please explain the C-type rating once again?
The C rating.
Yeah, the C rating.
Okay. C rating. Let me consider our battery only. Our cell has 105 ampere hour capacity. And if my cell is rated as 2C rating, that means I can draw 210 amperes of current for 10 seconds. In the initial 10 seconds, I can draw 210 amperes. This current is maximum current I can draw from the battery. So after 10 seconds, it is not advisable to draw 210 continuously, because the battery will heat up. So our nominal current will be 105 ampere. But our maximum current drawn will be 210 ampere, can be drawn. It's not that we need to draw. It can be drawn. This is the like what I say. This strength, this kind of strength it has. It can it give 210 amperes, but only for 10 seconds. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, so we'll wrap up now. If you guys have any questions, you can message me directly on WhatsApp, and I'll put the link for this to like later after I upload it. And the assignment question, I'll provide you the Google form. You can fill your answer there and send it to me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.